What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we're going to talk about the possibility of overpopulation in Phoenix, but across Arizona in general. And the reason this is coming up is because me personally, as I'm driving around Phoenix, I'm like, man, there's too many people here. This is crazy. And we also posted a community tab, and it was hot. Lots of people had some comments to make about the sustainability of Arizona moving forward. So this one's going to be a hot button topic. If you guys are excited for it, hit the like button. Thanks to everyone who already participates in all these chats and the comments below. Let's dive in here and take a look. So the first thing that we want to talk about, by the way, this is Grand Canyon that you're looking at here, is the community tab where we put it to poll. We said, do you feel like Phoenix is overpopulated? 74% of the participants in this poll, about over 1,000 people voted. 74% said, yeah, they feel as though it's getting overpopulated. Now, I'm going to show you guys some demographics data that's going to show that even though we are growing like exponentially really quickly, it's really booming right now, it's actually not the fastest that we've ever been growing. And I'm going to show you how much growth we've had over the last 30 to 40 years. Thanks to everyone who already hit the likes. I could see you guys out there in the comments. We already see Mutt Mutt. What a name. Who else is out there? Okay, so what did people say? Well, Mark, he had to say, Phoenix is a huge city, but it doesn't even close to feeling as crowded as other cities with much smaller in population. So he's saying, not so bad. Mr. Precision says the only real constraint on population growth in Phoenix is drinking water, which we're going to talk about. We're actually going to talk about how Rio Verde out in northeast Phoenix or the metro area is actually getting cut off from the water. But we're also going to talk about some of the big growth projects like Superstition Vistas that's projected to bring in almost 1 million people over the next 30 to 40 years. Whole new community that's being built. I'm going to talk about that. I don't know if you guys know about that, but let me know what you think of that one. Phoenix has turned into a landlocked Los Angeles, says Ulical. That one I kind of agree with. The reason I say that is because as I go around and I see all the cars on the roads. Today I was out there and I was like, there are so many cars on the road. It is absolutely insane. I mean, out here in North Phoenix, even in the summertime, you know, when the snowbirds are supposed to go home, nope, they didn't go home. And everyone else, it seemed like, picked up a car. You go to any one of these shopping centers and it's just like, I mean, what would you rather have? Shoulder to shoulder people or like massive congestion in traffic? I think both are probably going to cause you some anxiety, right? But we build these cities for, cars, and we have these concrete jungles because that's what Phoenix basically is, and they just keep paving the desert in all different directions instead of really reimagining how to do the infrastructure. And that's where the comments were also coming. Jose Garcia, for some reason, I think Tucson is, the infrastructure there hasn't been good or caught up like Phoenix. And it's not just that, but he touched on the thing that's important. It's the city planning and the infrastructure. They do these cookie cutter homes, they duplicate, and they create these treks, right? And they just do the same thing they've been doing for the last 40 to 50 years, and they don't modernize the engineering process of how they build these cities, so you get lots of congestion in there. What's up, mate? He says, he somewhat agrees. It's madness, but no attractions. One of the comments that we talked about the other day was how Southeast Phoenix is building all the homes, but West Phoenix is building all the entertainment. Glendale's getting all the entertainment. Southeast Phoenix and Mesa is getting all of the homes. And if I just show you what I'm talking about here, our good friends over at santanvalley.com, they said Superstition Vistas to be Apache Junction's biggest project in city's history. But it goes above and beyond Apache Junction's city history. This is going to be one of the biggest projects in all of Phoenix history. Let me show you exactly where they're planning on building this. Okay, you see this little area? It's Arizona State Trust land right here. You have Queen Creek and you have Santan Valley. Well, you see this empty plot of land right here that's just sitting there. It's to the west of Superstition Freeway, Highway 60. This whole area, they're planning on building homes here. And there's enough growth there by the year 2050 to be pushing around 1 million people. So you could see why they built this Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, which is going to continue to grow, by the way. This airport is going to be a big airport, probably on par with what you see at John Wayne or Burbank or Ontario in Los Angeles. So Phoenix Mesa Gateway will probably bring in more international carriers and larger carriers like Delta and United at some point in time soon because of the amount of growth. In fact, what I also found out was of all the places in Phoenix that I was looking to move, the best bang for your buck was basically found Glendale, Buckeye, Mesa. This is like where the biggest bang for your buck is, in Mesa and Glendale, okay? And these are cities that are not necessarily sought after, but Gilbert, Chandler got all the attention. Peoria got a lot of attention. Phoenix got a lot of attention. So did Scottsdale. Scottsdale boomed. Scottsdale's breaking at the seams right now, okay? Scottsdale is swelling. It's toast. It's too crowded. I can tell you that. Thanks to the 30 people who smashed the likes, by the way. But Mesa is really got the best bang for your buck. And so that's probably where I'm going to be moving is Mesa, because I went through all the process of trying to figure out where the best bang for my buck was. And you can still get reasonable prices in Mesa, even in this market right now. And the problem that I have right now is my rental. It was $2,500 a month for a year, but now they want to raise it to $2,800, and they want to also extend my lease for 15 months. I'm like, I'm not going to lock in at $2,800 a month in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Phoenix, Arizona. No, and I'm not going to rent it. I'd rather buy. So you guys get the idea, but I found a pretty good deal out in Mesa, so I'm going to be just transferring down that way again, because I was living up in North Phoenix. Someone said, isn't Glendale pretty seedy? Yeah, I'm not saying that Glendale is the best place to live, but that's where they're building a lot of the infrastructure. They obviously have the Super Bowl going to Glendale because that's where they're playing the Super Bowl, the Arizona Cardinal Stadium, the State Farm Stadium, actually. They have the Westlake, or they have the, what is it called? Not Westlake, Westgate. They have Westgate out there. But they're also building some infrastructure out there by Luke Air Force Base, Surprise, all that. It is seedy, but it's growing, and they're building the Matal amusement park out there. So Glendale's getting a lot of the attractions, but they're not getting any real quality housing going in out there. That's the difference. So it's like everyone's going to live over here on the southeast side because they got the Superstition Vistas plan coming in. They've also got this, according to ABC 15, one of my favorite news channels in the Valley. They've got billionaire looks to Arizona as possible location for proposed $400 billion sustainable city. I guess this is kind of like a look at what the proposal was. There's been a few of these. This is just one, but we've seen this before, where they were proposing these smart cities, these futuristic cities in Phoenix. And everyone always says, "Where are we going to get the water from? Where are we going to get the water from?" Well, that's the $1 million question. And if you look right here, you can even see this is making U.S. News Exchange Rio Verde foothills homes to lose water source. So what happens if you're moving out here to Arizona and then they decide that the town that you're living in no longer can pull off of the water source? The interesting thing about Rio Verde in particular is it's actually right on the Verde River. That's a water source. That's the Verde River. It's running quite frequently. In fact, there's a dam up above where they could actually release more water. So even though they're on the river, the Verde River, Rio Verde still has problems with water, and they have to resolve that. That's the same problem they're having with Superstition Vistas out here in Santan Valley, or at the base of the Superstition Mountains. Where are they going to get the water? Because they don't know yet. They don't know where they're going to get the water. I mean, we know where the water sources are, but there's these allocations. So they have to rewrite the rules for who gets what water. Because one thing that's happening in Arizona, you see all these green plots? See all that green right there? That's farmland. See all this green right here? Farmland. If you looked at Santan Valley or Gilbert maybe 30, 40 years ago, this was all green farmland, just like that. But they've paved the desert. They paved the farmland, and now it is actually homes. So welcome to Phoenix. Let's talk about those demographics, because I thought that was kind of interesting. So here we have the historical chart for, I don't know if you guys can see that really closely here. Let me see if I can. Well, anyway, you could see from 1980 to 1990, Phoenix grew just under 1 million, but it was 55%. Phoenix grew from 1980 to 1990. So this whole idea that, oh man, right now this generation is the only one building up Phoenix. No. Phoenix has always been booming ever since I was born. I was born in the 80s. Phoenix has always been growing. Arizona has always been growing. But then there was a big, massive one from 1990 to 2000. Look at from 3.6 million to 5.1 million. And then from 2010 to 2020, it actually grew less in population and in percent. We only grew 11.9% from 2010 to 2020 in the state of Arizona. So really, most of the growth happened in Arizona from 1980 to 2000. Almost 3 million people from 1980 to 2000 moved to Arizona. That's where the main growth happened. So what's happening now is not necessarily even the expansion of what we saw previously. So we've always been booming. And if you were born in Arizona or you lived in Arizona, you know that Arizona population boom or Phoenix population boom is nothing new. So this whole thing that people think is unique to this generation, no, it's not. And we have the data to back it up and show you. But you could see the growth. Right now, the Arizona population, 7.6 million people. We're pushing 8. We're going to have a lot of, what do they call that during the electoral college? Seats for votes, I guess you could say. But you could see right here, Cision says, new study, population growth is damaging Arizona's environment. But population growth is damaging all environments around the world where there's booming populations. I saw a documentary on YouTube just the other day about Bangladesh really dealing with overpopulation in Dhaka. Thanks to the 50 people who smashed the likes, helped get this video out there to have this conversation. But you could see NPG actually, negative population growth. They're talking about the growth in Arizona again, and the projections put us from 2020 to 2030 growing around at a faster pace. Actually, they're projecting a pickup in more people arriving in Arizona, putting us around 8.2 million by 2030, and around 2040, 9.1, almost 10 million people in Arizona. Okay, so this is just going to keep going. It's not going to get any less population if things stay the same the way they are. So you guys can bank on that. Phoenix in particular, if you look at the growth here, you can see from 2000 and basically 10, we went from 1.4 million to 1.6. We went from the 6th largest city in the country to the 5th largest city in the country in 20 years. So most of our growth really took place probably around the time of the 1970s to the 2000s again. So it was like that 30-year period where Phoenix really got put on the map. Because prior to World War II, Phoenix wasn't really anything but just like a little army depot in the middle of a valley in Arizona. It wasn't until after World War II where some of those World War II soldiers said, hey, remember when we were out there in Arizona? Kind of nice place. Let's go back. And then after that came Sun City with Del Webb, and the retirees came out there because there was so much sunshine. They were like, man, we got so much sunshine down there in Phoenix, and now we're back in Minnesota and Chicago, and we're just dealing with gray clouds and gray skies. Let's move back down there to the Valley of the Sun. And that's why they came up with the city known as Sun City. I mean, you can see why. We get a lot of sun out here, for those of you who didn't already know that. Someone says, anyone else seeing blurry graphics? Unfortunately, that would be a symptom of my internet. That is terrible that this internet is just not doing so hot right now. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, let me see if I can fix that. In our next live feed, we'll try and improve that. So sorry about that, guys. It's my internet. It's Cox. Their bandwidth is probably overexpanded. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll try and fix that right now. I'm going to call them.